Hey y'all, it's July the 22nd, 2015, and I just participated in a pretty interesting conversation on Facebook. It's not usually something that I do. I don't tend to do that, but sometimes you get roped into stuff. Like someone will say something, and then you're not mad at them. You just want to say something else. Maybe get your view established in the conversation. That's what I did. All right, it was a very nice conversation. I thought I enjoyed it a lot. But also, during the conversation, someone sent me a link to a web page, which I really enjoy. In fact, I encourage it, man. If you disagree with me, send me a link, man, to like the resource to where you're getting your information. Where can I check it out? And please believe I will click on that link and I will read what it is he sent me. I appreciate it. I believe it was a dude named David. I'm not familiar with. But anyway, he sent me a link. The reason he sent me a link is because I kind of implied that socialism and communism, basically, that's a slippery slope. The line between the two is quite ambiguous, and you're talking about a slippery slope right there. And the reason I brought it up is because Bernie Sanders, who absolutely will not be voted for president at all. Elections aren't real in the United States. Let me just tell you that right now. So I said, this is just hypothetical, but he's a socialist slash a communist, and even hypothetically, there's no way at all ever that he would be voted in the office. So it's like it's not even the point of bringing him up. And then someone was like, you know how they do it. They argue the differences between socialism and communism. And so one guy sent me a link to a page, and I'm gonna put the link down at the bottom in case you don't get the link, the previous link. I'm gonna send you a link. I'm gonna put a link at the bottom so that you can see it. Anyways, I'm gonna read part of it, and this part is covering the differences between socialism and communism. I'm just gonna read it. I'm not gonna prove anything to you right now. But I'm gonna read it. Maybe have some commentary, right? And let me get into it. It says differences. While there are certainly key similarities in the philosophies of communism and socialism, there are differences, and that makes considering them interchangeable incorrect. The most fundamental difference is that under communism, individuals are provided and compensated based on their needs and effect, meaning that in a true communist system, you wouldn't even have money, and you'd simply be given what the government thinks that you need in terms of food, clothing, accommodation, etc. Uh, Central to socialism is that individuals are compensated for based on their individual contribution. So people that work harder and smarter would receive more than those who don't contribute. So that's a key difference that they're mentioning. That's the first difference. However, I gotta just throw this in there. Who is the motherfucker who decides whether or not what you're doing is smarter or working harder? Who decides this? Is it some angel pie looking over us? Is it like a guardian angel who decides, well, I think he's working smarter? Well, I think he's working harder. These are, in essence, opinions. So how that's gonna work, I couldn't tell you. The article's not gonna tell you. But anyways, let me continue. This difference highlights a key flaw in the communist model, where no one has any motivation to work harder or smarter, as it would have no impact or benefit for them. Let's continue. It says other key differences include communism views all property as being public property, and effectively there is no personal property or items held by individuals. Now, this is where socialism differs. Socialism rather sees individuals still having their own personal property, but all industrial and production capacity would be communally owned and managed by consensus or the government, meaning that you could have your own stuff, but you simply cannot make your own stuff, and you certainly cannot make stuff and sell it, which is in a big way how America came to be what it is people owning the machines and being able to make stuff with the machines and thereby selling stuff with the machines that they themselves own. That's not going to be happening in a socialist. I mean, you can own your own stuff until they say, "Oh man, actually we need that. which I admit that happens a lot in America now, and I don't like it. But anyways, you could own your own stuff, but you just can't make no stuff. Do not make anything. You can't make anything. Anyway, socialism at its core is an economic philosophy, whereas communism is economic and political in its requirement that the government be the central owner and decision maker in all matters. See, but that's the thing about it. Socialism, if at its core is an economic philosophy, right? An economic philosophy, then how in the world can we instill socialist laws? I mean, the thing is, you're crossing the threshold from philosophy into now it is the law. It's become socialist philosophy, like thought, like this is how I think stuff should work. This is how it's going to work. All right, I'm gonna throw that out there. Communism rejects any religion, and in true communist state, religion is effectively abolished. As socialism is economical in its focus, freedom of religion is allowed. See how freedom of religion is allowed. I'm gonna just repeat that. Freedom of religion is allowed. That little fragment of a sentence makes fucking no sense. Completely no sense. There's no way to allow a freedom. All right, but anyways, freedom of religion is allowed through some interpretations, seeing it as promoting secularism in nature, even if religion is not effectively banned. Now, that's another thing, man, that could be very much argued and debated. How in the world is secularism, and it ends in ism, how in the world is secularism not a religion? All right? I don't want to debate you on that because I know you're thinking about religion. Religion needs some sort of character up at the top, and you got to worship him, and you got to do all sorts of things that people in the road said you got to do. And by that very nature, I don't really believe in religion. Religion is kind of whack to me, and you'll never catch me getting into that sort of major religion. However, I mean, you could just wake up. I mean, let's be real about it. Atheism is a religion. That means you don't believe in nothing. You might say, "Oh, I believe in the people." All right. Well, then you believe in the people. That's your religion. Atheism is your religion. You got to understand. Secularism is your religion because what you're doing is believing in money. And so therefore it's a religion. That means that that secularism would be the religion. You're not really. I mean that makes it the exact same as communism, except for that the communism you wouldn't even have money. You anyways, communism sees the complete abolishment of class distinctions as everyone is effectively treated the same. Now, of course, it doesn't mention the fact that there's a ruler in communism, that there is a Mao, if you will, in communism, and please believe that he'll get every goddamn thing he wants. Not only that, everybody he knows, oh, they'll be lavished with anything that they want. So let's leave them out of the picture. They're saying communism treats everyone the same. Yeah, except for the people who fucking run it. They absolutely will not be treated the same. Socialism sees a diminishment here, but class distinctions would still exist as is capacity for some to achieve more wealth than others. Now, like I said, that's really dependent on who's running the show. And socialism, just like communism, is extremely centralized. There is only one show, and only one group is running it. All right? Something to remember. Communism sees a transition from capitalism as being a violent revolution where the existing system is effectively destroyed as the workers rise up against the middle and upper classes. Socialism rather sees a gradual transition from capitalism through legal and political processes. Now, it's going to see a gradual transition through legal and political processes. However, if you do not adhere to these legal and political processes during certain elections that can be rigged out of the ass, all right? If you do not adhere to those, guess what comes? Violent force. Exactly the same as communism, all right? And so after that, that sees everyone essentially being treated equally at birth. People would still have the ability to excel and enter the equivalent of a middle class, but their children would have to work just as hard as they did to achieve the same. Now, Think about that for a second. I mean, imagine you're a person, right? You're a person, and you achieve the status of being middle class. All right. Can you imagine you're middle class, and then you have a baby, but that baby has to be born into the poor class, and not until that baby somehow gets a job that they get assigned to somehow because some sort of centralized agency has assigned them to a job in which now they have to work harder and smarter, according to somebody's opinion. Until that point, they're going to be in the poor class. You're going to be in the middle class because you worked at it and you earned it. But your child, well, they got to stay in the poor class until they freaking earn it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who's going to figure that out. I'm gonna end this video like this. I mean, they go on to say that communism, neither communism or socialism, in its full capacity has ever been realized here on this earth. At the same time, I gotta interject that neither has capitalism. Capitalism has never been fully realized on this earth. It's one of those things that you'll never ever really get to. And honestly, I don't even like the word capitalism. I really like the word free market because it takes the currency that you can have in your hands and you vote with that. There's no reason to even vote. Like me personally, I don't vote in any elections. I never have and never will because it's a goddamn joke. Our elections are a joke and a fraud and an illusion. And if you're still naive at this point, I'm telling you, you won't be able to be naive for very much longer. All right? It is a joke. The thing is, I vote all the time with my dollars. All right? And I get to choose where I can work, who's going to pay me more, how I can save my dollars, what I can use my dollars on. To me, that's voting. All right? That's how I vote. In a socialist economy, that's not necessarily going to happen at all. At all. At all. At all. And you know what? You can have whatever you want, but you certainly can't invent stuff. You have to be chosen. You have to be a chosen person to invent stuff now. You certainly can't produce anything because you have to be chosen to be the smartest or hardest worker or whatever to produce anything at all. In fact, you can't produce anything. The community produces stuff. But I mean, let me just throw you something out there right quick right now. For all those people who like socialism, I work at a place right now. I'm not allowed to say their name on the internet. All right, that's kind of funny, but I'm not allowed because they'll find out about it. All right. Now, I consider myself, and you can debate this. I consider myself to be more of an aware person than most people who work at my work, including the management and everybody who works there. I feel like I am kind of smarter than most people, and I can do their job a lot better than they can do it. All right, but that's not what happens. I just work at my job, and I get to get paid, and then I do whatever I want with the money that I get paid after I get taxed out of my ass. All right. What you're trying to insinuate is that in a socialist system, that some sort of angel, guardian angel, angel cake at the tippy top would see me down as a dishwasher and say, you know what, that dude's he's smarter. He works harder. I'm gonna climb him up the ladder. I'm gonna put him right under me at the tippy top because I see that he's smarter and he works harder. And socialism is working now. All right. No, that's not what's gonna happen at all. In fact, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be more of a caste system and I'm gonna stay at the dishwashing job no matter what. In fact, I can't go nowhere else to go work because it's been decided for me where I'm gonna go work because basically it's communism. I know you don't want to think it's communism. I know there's differences, but the differences are so weak, are so ambiguous that it's easily going to be a slippery slope. Socialism, in and of itself, is kind of a caste system. What you're doing is you're limiting choices. You're limiting choices, all sorts of choices. That's all I'm going to put out there and stuff. Y'all have a good day. It's July the 22nd, 2015.